protesters. The Eagle Square has been fully secured by security operatives from the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Army, Immigration, NSCDC, among others, before the arrival of the protesters. Not only that, officers of the Nigerian Army were positioned strategically at both entrance of the National Assembly with their armor tanks. Correspondent Kunuju reports that the protesters with banners and national flag later arrived at the square chanting various anti-government songs. However, an officer of the Nigerian Police Force, had appealed to the protesters to leave and move to the designated venue, but they rejected all entreaties. As the protest gathered momentum, officers of the Nigerian Police Force started firing tear gas into the air, a development that led to commotion and confusion in the axis. In the process, a protester fell flat on the floor due to the impact of the tear gas. And still in line with the protest, we have the police force PRO joining us live via from Abuja. We have Officer Muyiwa Adejobi. Good evening to you, sir.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. All right, so quickly, how would you rate the conduct of protesters and security personnel during today's protest?
Well, from the side of security operatives, particularly the police, who is majorly saddled with responsibility of managing protests, we have not done bad in any way. But we are not still surprised that we experienced what we experienced today. We were not taken aback in any way, because when we were planning for this, we planned for both sides, the good side of it and the ugly side of it. We was surprised again that just too early enough to be experiencing this, 2 hours into the protest, with the protesters to actually gather at MKO Abiola Stadium, in line with the agreement with the FCDA, and going to the court verdict or injunction obtained by the FCDA yesterday that the protesters should confine in the MKO Abiola Stadium. Okay? And of course, they were highly unruly. They started harassing individuals. Some even robbed innocent Nigerians. They vandalized vehicle in Abuja here. And these things were going on simultaneously. So it gave us a great task to make sure we maintain law and order. And like the IGP had rightly said before now, while having meeting with his
Mr. Muyiwa, do we still have you there?
Hello?
All right, so you're back. So moving on with what was obtainable today, what are you envisaging for tomorrow?
Well, for now, the IGP anymore for now is going to address Nigerians. We're going to have a press briefing at the headquarters of the Inspector General, the Office of the Inspector General of Police here by 8 p.m. to address Nigerians. And IGP is going to address this issue. Not continue with this process. For us, we think it's advisable that we tell organizers to pull out of this process so that we know those that actually how to ferment trouble around the nation. Because we can see that we're having, for this protest, who have genuine reasons to come out to protest and address, drive home their demands, and those who actually have to ferment trouble, to loot, to rob, and to kill people. We have recorded in Kaduna alone, 3 policemen were attacked. I was told we have lost 1, and 2 are seriously injured. And in Borno, you know, we had intelligence that terrorists may like, and some suspected members of ISWAT detonated bomb, and this thing exploded and caused serious injuries to more than 34 people. While we lost, with the information I have, 4 young people between the ages of 9 and 15-year-old. It is quite unfortunate that is that time we started listening to our security agencies our intelligence community who have. So we don't expect to continue like this tomorrow. We are going to do what is needful. We will engage every situation diplomatically, tactically, and professionally. Actions and reactions are equal and opposite. So whatever we see will determine how we're going to handle, if at all, this thing continues tomorrow. But from us, we don't think it's reasonable for any group to still continue this protest tomorrow. Ab initio,
right.
those who actually called for this protest, in all areas, the name given to this process is worrisome because they call it 10 days of rage. And to me, I don't know, experts can help us to explain what they mean by that rage. But for us, in English, simple language, it's to have something like this in Nigeria. We cannot afford to have anarchy in this country at this crucial moment.
All right, so thank you so much, Officer Muyiwa Dejobi, the police. He's a police force PRO. Thank you so much. And the call was from Abuja. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, bye. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, so now we'll move on to the rest of the stories. Some government and bad governance in Nigeria protesters have declared that they will not relent in the ongoing agitation to enforce change in the way things are in the country. This resolution was made at the end of day one of the nationwide protests in Lagos. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph has more.
Lagos residents in their hundreds served the nationwide End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest today, displaying their displeasure about the economic situation in Nigeria. They said people are suffering all over the country and it's not acceptable. They want government to make amendments to some of its policy which have affected the finances and overall livelihood of the people negatively.
The cause of this protest is hunger in the land. The cause of this protest is corruption in the land. The cause of this protest is the fact that our leaders have let us down. The cause of this protest is that Nigerians are hungry and they are angry. We are hungry and we are angry. Our common resources have been wasted by those who put in authority. And so Nigerians have taken the fate in their own hands. And we're saying enough is enough. They say we are faceless, but we're not faceless. These are our faces.
There is hardship in the country. The economic conditions of people have changed drastically in the last 1 year. People are asking for a change in governance that reflects development. People are asking that they enjoy the country because they are collective owners of this country.
The protesters call on every Nigerian, especially youth, to speak out their mind to let the people in government know the level of hardship Nigerians are experiencing currently.
It is the time of the people. To state governors, to the president of the country, to the police IG, to commissioners of police, that protest is a constitutional right, and they will stop arresting protesters. I want you to know, as you are protesting today, that you are fighting for your survival.
Against all odds, protesters stormed the streets of Lagos from morning to day, and they took over every area, especially in Ojota here, the Gani Fawemi Freedom Park, and there's a resolution reached at the end of today's protest that they are going to continue this protest until they have results. Their aim is to engage government to make a change about the economic situation in the country. Lebby Joseph, Galaxy Television News.
Protests turned violent as police tried to disperse protesters, shooting at least one person in the protest. The protesters in their numbers looted and set ablaze Kaduna State Traffic Law Enforcement Authority Kaslia office in Kaduna, injuring a police officer in the process. The youth looted and set the office on fire. Some bad elements suspected to be hoodlums also looted a neighboring house of military personnel. The victim was seen crying and begging for help as all her belongings were looted by the protest. The victim, however, pleaded with government to come to her help. In his response, the police public relation officer confirmed the incident, says the police office was affected and has been rushed to the hospital for treatment.
The door, even the door, they put the door out. They back body TV, body fridge, they come out the compressor. Everything that woman is using to live in house, they pack everything, including shoes for them, they pack. They ransack my bag, remove my bag that I'm using to put my clothes. For the clothes, carry some clothes, put inside.
The IMN members have hijacked this, they are part of this protest, and that is what we have noticed. That is why we are drawing the attention of the public, since that some bad elements are trying to hijack this protest. The Inspector General of Police clearly make some requests for those protesters that they should provide their details so that we can know their leaders, we can know the route that they will follow. But at the end of the day, we just start seeing them trying to hijack, trying to attack the government house. You have seen how they have destroyed our armor car. You have seen how, look at it, come, look at it now, look at it. We have arrested some of them now, yes, and definitely we cannot allow anybody, any destruction, any violence protest, nobody will take it.
Contrary to expectations, Ogun State has recorded a low turnout at the planned nationwide protest, which was scheduled to commence at 8 a.m. on Thursday. There was no sign of protesters at designated venues, including the MKO Stadium and NNPC Abeokuta and other areas in Abeokuta, the state capital. After a few hours, some protesters numbering about 30 staged a demonstration in front of the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, carrying placards bearing different inscriptions such as "We are hungry" and "Bad governance," amongst others. Security operatives were seen taking strategic location towards forestalling any breakdown of law and order. While the state capital is calm, some youth and who defy the odd to speak with Galaxy newsmen had this to say.
Contrary to expectations, Ogun State has recorded a low turnout at the planned nationwide protest. There was no sign of protesters at the designated venues. After a few hours, some protesters, numbering about 30, staged a demonstration in front of the MK Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. Security operatives were also seen taking strategic location towards forestalling any breakdown of law and order. While the state capital is calm, some youths who defied the odd spoke with Galaxy TV News.
It's been very, very difficult surviving. We struggled throughout Buhari's 8 years. We felt this is going to be the end. You understand? We felt that life. But 1 year down the line, it is very, very clear. There's no hope. There's nothing forthcoming. All the promises, Tinubu's first statement was subsidy is gone. Subsidy is gone, and everything good about Nigeria went with that statement. If he's going to restore everything back, I think the beginning, it should start from.
The Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, says every part of the state is peaceful. He adds that the protesters are free to have their peaceful protest in designated places across the state.
We have to respect citizens' rights. Our reservation is we don't want miscreants to hijack this protest. But good enough, most of the organizers, they have seen reason in the untimely nature of conducting protests at this point in time in our country. And for that reason, most of them are voluntary back off.
My message for all
voluntary back off.
My message for all the indigenes of Ogun State and of course the residents
is that everybody should go on their normal daily businesses. All the filling stations, as far as Ogun State, they are all working, functioning very well. All the shops are opened.
I'm right here at MKO Abiola Stadium here in Abeokuta, one of the locations for the said protest, and I can confirm to you that zero activity is ongoing here, just for the activities of the security agencies who are here to protect lives and property. It is expected that the agitations of the protesters who have not come out will be addressed by the federal government and, of course, the state government in no distance time. From Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Bonfires littered the Delta Community Highway of Ughelli leading to Bayelsa State as youth and protesting women took to the major highway lamenting the hardship in the country. The youth marched unhindered as policemen could only watch as the protest, which started late in the afternoon, produced a large turnout. Some of the protesters who spoke with our correspondent called on the federal government to revert to the old pump price as food items are on the rise astronomically.